The most recent example of the NFL's behavioral double standard became clear over the weekend when the Cleveland Browns traded for quarterback Deshaun Watson, who's been accused by 24 women of sexual misconduct during massage appointments. Not only did Cleveland give up a bunch of draft picks to get Watson, but they signed him to the most valuable guaranteed contract in NFL history, worth a record $230 million. Did I mention it's guaranteed? News of the trade and Watson's record-setting new deal came about a week after a Texas grand jury declined to indict Watson on charges related to 9 complaints accusing him of a range of sexual misconduct, from exposing himself to sexual assault. Watson has denied any wrongdoing, and his lawyer has said any sexual acts that happened during massage appointments were consensual. Watson still faces 22 civil lawsuits over his alleged behavior, and he could still be suspended by the league. But come on, that's not going to happen. The league opened its own investigation into Watson a year ago after 2 of Watson's accusers filed civil suits against him. The Texans continued to pay him, but they placed him on their game day inactive list on a weekly basis, which kept him off the field but on the payroll. Now, after the trade was first reported, the league issued a statement saying its investigation into Watson is ongoing and the trade will have no effect on it. Come on. The Browns really leveraged so much of the team's future on a player who could soon find himself suspended or even kicked out of the league entirely in the not-so-distant future. The Browns owners quickly put out a statement after the deal was finalized, saying in part they are acutely aware and empathetic of people's feelings about the decision to add Watson to the roster, but that they are confident in Watson's genuine and determined efforts, whatever that means. Look, I am all for not prejudging. The guy has not been charged with a crime. But the league doesn't move against Watson or Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder, who also faces accusations of sexual misconduct. Meanwhile, someone like John Gruden, former head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, is effectively banished from football for life over offensive emails. Gruden resigned in October after racist and homophobic private emails he sent years ago were leaked during an NFL investigation into a former Washington executive. The investigation wasn't into him. Gruden is suing the NFL, claiming the emails were leaked by the league and Commissioner Roger Goodell to destroy his career. The NFL has called Gruden's claims baseless. But it raises the question of why Watson can still play despite being accused of sexual misconduct by dozens of women, and that what Gruden did was bad enough for him to be effectively forced out of football. Sure, you can argue that the emails are not disputed, and the allegations are. But it sure feels like they give you the benefit of the doubt in the NFL when it suits their needs. But what do I know? Let's talk to someone who actually does. Mike Florio, host of Pro Football Talk on NBC's Peacock. He's not only one of the premier insiders in all of pro football, he's also an attorney. His new book, Playmakers, How the NFL Really Works and Doesn't, is available now. Mike, thanks for coming back on the show. Appreciate it. Is my take here fair? What am I missing?
Well, you're not missing anything. And the fundamental reality for the NFL is it does whatever it wants, whenever it wants, however it wants. It does not allow itself to be bound by precedent. It's driven by PR, the personal conduct policy, which regulates the private lives of players, coaches, owners, anyone connected to the league when they're away from work. That is something that is a tool of public relation. It is aimed at having a device for punishing people when they do something that the league thinks, hey, we better punish this guy. And with Watson, I really don't know what the league's going to do, Dan. One of the realities is the league keeps its cards close to the vest. It won't tip its hand. It has learned the hard way that its smartest move is to not act until it has to. Last year, it didn't have to act against Deshaun Watson because he was never going to play, because the Texans were trying to trade him and the Texans didn't want him to play while they were trying to trade him. Now that the Browns have him and he's likely to be playing as of week 1, the league has to decide whether it's going to put him on paid leave until these 22 lawsuits are resolved, whether or not maybe there's some effort behind the scenes to get him to settle these cases and then suspend him without pay. There's a lot of different ways this can go, but from the people I know in the league office, they understand that 22, whatever the critical mass is, between 1 and 22 of claims of this nature to get people concerned, 22 is on the wrong side of that number, and they recognize that they can't do nothing about it. The question is, what will they do and when will they do it?
But real quick, how can the Browns have invested this much of a guaranteed contract? This is their entire future in a guy who you're still telling me there's a chance is going to have real problems with the league.
I think they expect him to be suspended this season. 6 games, 8 games. That's the number that's rattled around the NFL for the past year. And they may guess wrong.
Yeah.
But I think they're confident there's going to be a short suspension. And then, Dan, if he plays, if they win, as time goes by, this is going to be forgotten. There's so many scandals.
Yep.
Time passes, and they get forgotten in the NFL, and the Browns are banking on that.
But we know that one person who doesn't forget is Mike Florio. Mike, thank you for coming back on the show. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.